Superintendent Kearney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before we get started, just would like to introduce Mr. Stan Edwards, who will be joining our board officially January 13th with the swearing in right before the board meeting, the executive session begins. So we welcome you to the team. The work of the board is definitely hard work, and I know that you are going to be committed to the children, and we are so grateful that you will be a member of the team. So welcome aboard, and I'd like to ask our team to introduce themselves, and I know you probably won't remember everybody's names. However, in the handy dandy notebook, there are pictures with our names so that if you have to think about a topic that you want more information about, you are welcome to reach out to anybody in the room anytime for more information. So why don't we start with Sherry?
I'm Sherry Davis Vineyard. I'm the PR director for Newton County School System.
I'm Gary Shattuck. I'm the Director of Technology and Media Services.
I'm Alan Satterfield. I'm the Director of Special Education.
Hi, Sheila Thomas, Director of Federal Programs.
Hi, I'm Navi Sanders, Director of Human Resources.
Erica Robinson, Executive Financial Manager.
Peggy Bullard, soon to be retired.
Alma Turner. District 4.
Shaquila Henderson Baker, District 3.
Abigail Coggin, District 5.
Craig Lockhart, Deputy Superintendent of Schools.
Shannon Buff, Secondary Director of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Learning.
Jan Lumens, Director of Operational Services.
Mike Barr, Director of Support Services.
Allison Jordan, Director of Testing, Research, and Evaluation.
Renee Findley, Director of Student Services.
And
Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
And Mr. Peck is not here. He is the Director of Elementary Curriculum Instruction and Professional Learning. He is actually sick, so we definitely don't want him here spreading germs. So we are glad you're here, and without delay, we will jump right in and sort of walk you through the notebook so that you'll see the lay of the land. And each of us has some job description information and major duties and responsibilities so that you kind of know who does what and what types of work that each of our team members is working on currently. And first thing, behind the first tab in the notebook is the executive summary from our school's most recent advanced ed visit. And at the risk of running through the entire document, there are several school reports, and all of these pieces of information are currently housed on our website. And this is what you receive, this document and the documents are what you receive after the external review team comes to the system and offers suggestions and recommendations for improvement. And then they generate a report that details what used to be recommendations and they're now requirements. And both of our requirements are in the area of professional learning. So we, in order to address that, we actually made a recommendation to hire a coordinator of professional learning for K-12, and he started with us a couple of months ago to try to make sure that our professional learning program was more inclusive of everybody, not just our educators. So we're working on the the requirements from the visiting committee. Then from that, not all of the schools were visited, but they took a sampling of the schools and then gave us some recommendations that are housed as a district recommendation, and the reports are what you see here. And you just have to read through them. There's a lot of information here. And each school leader has their own external review reports and go through them to make adjustments if there was a specific recommendation that applies to them. But you have to remember that they didn't visit all of the schools. So it's our accreditation process is a district accreditation as opposed to what we used to do was a school by school on a random cycle. So we are in good shape and we are accredited through the next 5 years, this being year 1. In year 2, however, we must address the requirements and by year 2 provide the advanced ed organization a report of our progress. So we are well on our way to ensuring that we meet the requirements laid out through the advanced ed process.
Is the board updated monthly on the progress of the?
The recommendations are very specific and they're not, the board is updated through programs. So when you look at the CIT report, for example, for professional learning, you have a running record of all the things that go on. And all of that plays into the requirements for the advanced ed report. So we don't have a column that specifically just says advanced ed requirements and these are the things that we're doing. But step 1 was to try to get somebody who's really paying close attention to the requirements. And then step 2 is to look through our reports to the board, monthly reports that identify all the things that we do. So, any other questions?
Not yet.
Okay. And you may have a lot of questions after you have an opportunity to skim through all the reports and look at them. And certainly we'll be able to help you answer those questions. Behind tab 2, that would be information related to the work that I do. And my major duties and responsibilities are on the back side of the picture page. And these major duties and responsibilities are directly aligned with my evaluation instrument. So perform as the educational leader of the school system, serve as a chief executive officer for the school board, oversee operational management and operational services, financial management, and then direct community relation activities. And some of the major initiatives that we are undertaking as a district are all driven by bullet number 1, and that's to ensure that all students are prepared to graduate so that they have choices beyond high school. So it's not just enough to have students reach the milestone of graduation, but they ought to be able to do whatever it is they wish to do. And so all of the work that we do in the system is directly aligned with that one statement. And the major initiatives are, as you see here, directly aligned with our strategic plan. Increase student achievement, more effective teaching, ensure the use of effective professional learning communities, and then, of course, ensure that all students are prepared for life beyond high school by doing a couple of things. One, ensuring that all students read at or above grade level as they exit grade 3, and then ensure opportunities for enrichment for kids who do understand and who meet the milestones and markers that are in a class, for example. What do we do beyond the minimum? Communicate the board's belief in mission and vision, monitor compliance with policies and law, ensure the maintenance of existing facilities, prepare the school system budget, maintain board policies, and engage the community. Those are the major activities that I participate in. And of course, the team that's assembled before you today, they all plug into all of those areas. We do have a strategic plan. It's actually in the stages of revision. We take it to our school leaders, and school leaders then take it to their schools, and then each school has feedback, and then we post it for community feedback as well. Whenever I meet with the community, I bring a copy of the strategic plan so that if there's any opportunity for revision, we make sure that we do. The first page of the strategic plan is absolutely what our staff members most closely connect to. They pretty much can recant this because we've been working on it for 5 years. One of the criticisms that we've encountered throughout the school system is that we waffle back and forth. We haven't, prior to the 5 years, had a direct mission, vision, and strategic plan that everybody was well aware of. And so we might all have our own ideas. This really has unified the district and pushed all of us so that everything we do aligns to what you see in our strategic plan. And then the strategic plan, to read it, after you pass the first page, the one-pager, what we did was we took all of the things that go on in the district and we laid them out in words. So you can see what the non-negotiables are, the goals, the strategies, and then under academic excellence and non-negotiable goal number 1, what are the things that we're working on, and then what are our key initiatives. that address that specific goal. And if you'll look at that first page, increased student achievement is bold, so that means what follows here is about increasing student achievement. And if you'll turn over to page, in the strategic plan, to page, let's see, 8. What you'll see then is that same Word document transferred into a matrix. So you see the focus, the objectives, strategies, metrics, and then who's responsible for monitoring. And we do, in our various meetings, talk about each of these areas. Where are we? What are we doing? The second part of this is you'll see in the annual plan, we're posting and putting out the information relative to the strategic plan. Where are we in terms of numbers? So that's how you read the strategic plan. And you see that we're focused on academic excellence, instructional excellence, and a culture of excellence. So moving us towards being the best at everything that we do. The first tab that you have just takes you through the board policy KBCA, and I'm not going to read it because all of these people have things to talk about with you, but it just sort of outlines who, basically who would speak to the media, which is important. Board school superintendent relations is under tab 2, board policy BBD, which directly aligns to what we expect of one another as a board and as of the superintendent. Then the next would be BD. The board is very much involved with policy development. We bring it to, anytime we have a policy change, we bring those to the board, and then we talk them through it, and it sits on the table for 30 days until till 30 days pass, and then we take feedback. And if we have to, and we've used feedback to change what we've written, and then at the 30 days, if there's any further discussion, we hear it, and then we amend the board policy. But that is definitely a function of the board. The next tab is CEB. It gives you just a summation of the superintendent's duties and responsibilities. You also see the superintendent evaluation. And then the board policy BH, which is the board code of ethics. And that takes you to the last tab in that section, which we all thought would be really helpful to someone who's maybe not in the educational arena. It's still under tab 2, and it's the last set of documents. It is the GSBA's educational acronyms. So when we start talking about ACT, SAT, CCRPI, PSAT, we felt it would be handy for you to be able to take a quick look at what we're talking about via the acronyms. We tend to speak in acronyms.
That's the last tab or the second last?
It is this. It should be under tab 2,
Oh, I'm in 3.
and it should be right prior to to tab 3.
I'm with you.
Okay. A lot to digest in tab 2, certainly. This is just a quick, a purpose of today is to orient you, just to get you familiar with who's here and the types of things.
Or to disorient.
No, and we will certainly follow up because, as you'll see under tab 3, one of the things that is in tab 3 would be your training requirements as a board member. And one of the things that we need to do is sit down with Peggy and Erica to have a really, and Madam Chair, to have a look at our most recent financials, our audits, just to kind of get you up to speed with where we are with that. Fortunately, we've had the good fortune of having Peggy as our business manager for a very, very long time, and our audits have been without remark. They've been very good. So we are in very, very good shape in that area. But we need to sit down, pick a date between now and the second board meeting in January to sit down and just review the financials, and we'll have to coordinate with your schedule as well. But the information that you'll want to know about board training that's required, you'll see it in tab 3. And then we will get to spend some quality time together. If you'll look at the tab under, still in tab 3, there's a little sheet. This is our local governance training. And we are scheduled to go to whole board training on February the 25th. The topic is rules of boardsmanship, and we will be from 9 to 12 at Griffin Risa for 3 hours of training. Any questions about any of that?
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Lockhart, if you would begin.
Yes, ma'am. Again, good afternoon, Mr. Edwards. My name is Craig Lockhart, Deputy Superintendent of Schools. And if we turn over to duties and responsibilities, primarily I serve as second in command to the superintendent, and I work alongside her and the directors here in a host of different duties as needed. When you look at major initiatives, some of the large things that I personally am pretty involved in include our Leader Keys evaluation system. It is the process in which we evaluate our school leaders, supporting the continuous improvement process for the Newton County school system. We have a positive behavior intervention and supports program. This program helps us work with children as far as trying to motivate positive behaviors opposed to just always looking at negative behaviors, trying to see if we can bring the school system to a better place as far as its culture goes. And we recently have received a youth mental health training grant. We're one of 3 counties in the state to receive this, so I'm working pretty closely with trying to get that grant off of the ground. But again, I'm here whenever you need me, and if there's any way I can support you, I'd be more than happy to do so. The only other thing I have here is just a job description, just so you can learn a little bit more about the work that I do.
Thank you.
Before we go to tab 5, something I did not say that I feel is important. The people who you see in the room today are really, they're great at their jobs. Each person knows their work down to the last detail, and they are probably some of the most reliable people that you will ever meet in this particular arena. They are high quality, great integrity, have the respect of the people with whom they work. And I could not ask for a better team. They're awesome. So anytime that any of our board members need anything from anybody, it's a pretty smooth process. Transparency is really important to all of us. We try to be as open and honest out front so that and solve problems way ahead of them becoming a problem. And the people that you see before you today are just excellent at the work that they do. And so I hope that you'll get to know them outside of today's meeting and develop a great relationship with all of them, because they will help you become familiar and help you trust in all the work that we do. All right, Peggy and Erica. So I don't know if you know the situation here, but Peggy is retiring, and we were really smart to get somebody in to work alongside Peggy as the secrets that she has back there with her, how she handles all of those things. No secrets in that respect, but the way that she handles all of the incoming resources and funds is really amazing. So it's a great idea to have somebody come in so that she could teach them how she does that work. But yeah, no secrets.
We're responsible for all the accounting and finance, for compiling and monitoring the budget, and for the payroll and benefits for all the employees.
That simple, huh?
Yeah.
That's your secret. Keep it simple. Straightforward and simple.
And they'll prepare monthly financial reports, so you'll be updated at every board meeting about where we are and what the financial situation looks like by way of what % of the year we have is behind us and how much money we've expended to that point and if we're in line. They also have a department back there that handles all those things, and they manage and supervise. So they've got a great deal of responsibility. Peggy made it sound real simple. It's not that simple.
We did include, the revised budget so that all the board members will have it also, we revised it in November. So that's the revised sort of details of the budget.
Which include the,
Financials, we give you pretty much in summary, like the first, 5 pages, you've probably seen them, I think.
Thank you.
I do have a recommendation for Peggy, and maybe you won't have this problem in saying, but for the first couple of months, I got lost on the financial report because people were going so fast through it when they presented. So maybe kind of like, I don't know if you want to do it now or wait till January to do it, to kind of go through like what exactly you're telling us when you're up there, like the line item. For me, it was difficult my first couple.
I think we can do that when we meet together and go through and look at the report in more detail.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I'm not sure what you mean, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so everything that you wanted to know about finance and budgets included behind tab 5. And what's I think an important point here is that a lot of the resources that we have are dedicated to specific things, and there's not a whole lot of room for moving things around. The lion's share of our budget goes to personnel. It's to pay people. And then the rest of it has to do all the other work. And it's not been a lot of money to deal with, especially in the last several years. Things have been looking better for us, but that's due in large in part to the board's decision-making along that way with the recession and making choices, the hard decisions early on, so that right now we're positioned to be better financially than many other school systems are, in spite of the fact that our digest is not increasing at the rate that it did last year. When it went up a pretty good clip, it's sort of leveling off now. So, but we're still in really good shape. All right.
I serve as the Chief Communications Officer for the school district. Some of the things that I do, I manage the website and also all of our social media, the YouTube, the Facebook, Twitter. Several programs that I oversee are the Partners in Education program and the Golden Pass program. I coordinate Teachers Forum and Student Forum for the superintendent. I work on major publications for the school district. You've got our annual report at I think it was the last meeting, and there's also a copy in the book. And my major initiative really is just to keep telling the positive stories of the school district. And a couple of the publications that I have in here are our monthly board notes, which is a recap of each of our board meetings. And then our Thursday folder is a electronic publication that comes out every week on Thursday. It's a compilation of all the press releases that have been written for that week.
I get that. Thank you. That's good. I got a question though. This school year so far, I have not gotten near as many calls from you as I got last year.
That could be a good thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I noticed there's a big decrease.
Usually they seem to bunch up together. We'll have quite a few at one time, and then it's kind of a lull, and then several events will be taking place. But come January and February, keep listening to the
So in general, it's good I don't hear from you.
Yes. You should get, if the board approves the calendar tonight, you should receive a call tonight. I'm just waiting to see what happens with that.
Thank you.
Another initiative that's new this year is the Scholar of the Week, and that Sherry puts that together. Several of our board members have been bouncing around ideas on how to highlight kids who are perhaps not necessarily highlighted in this way, and Sherry got right to work on it, and I hope that you've had an opportunity to see kids. They're posted on our webpage and on our Facebook page, and the high schools participate and really do a good job highlighting kids that may not have been highlighted if not this way. So that's new this year. and really good for our kids. All right, Ms. Buff?
So I'm Shannon Buff. I'm the Director of Secondary Curriculum Instruction and Professional Learning, and I'm going to try to walk you through a little bit of Mr. Peck's items as well as mine. I miss him, but I'm glad he's not here with the flu. So what Mr. Peck and I do, Mr. Peck oversees pre-K through 5th grade, and then I oversee 6th grade through 12th grade. And we're over all the curriculum instruction and professional learning for the district. I oversee Title IIA, which is a federal program that deals with high-quality teachers and teacher effectiveness. And Mr. Peck oversees federal program Title III, which deals with our English language learners. He does after-school program, and then I have the Career Technical Agricultural Education, CTAE. You'll hear us say that quite often. We both monitor our schools. We often do that together. Part of what we are doing this year and last year since I came on board was really trying to vertical team so that, you know, there's a smooth transition when the kids go from, you know, each grade level from elementary to middle to high school, and that's worked really well. We are the first stop in the handbook for parental concerns, and so we deal with that quite a bit. Whether it's curricular issues or discipline issues or issues with teachers. That's just part of the chain of command. We've been very much involved in getting our students prepared for the Georgia Milestones, which is their new state assessment, as well as the development of student learning objectives, which is part of the Teacher Keys evaluation system. Our major initiatives together, just the continuous improvement process, like I said, visiting the schools. We do have a college and career readiness teacher leader program where we have implemented an SAT, ACT strategic plan that you'll find under this tab as well. We get together with those teachers every other month and we monitor their school level plans as well as our district plan. We have a new Leadership Development Institute for the district where we pull in teachers who are interested in pursuing leadership within the district, trying to grow our leaders from within. And that's as much as I can get in my time period, but there's some documents in here that share kind of our major initiatives, what we're responsible for, and that SAT plan is in there as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Satterfield?
I'm Alan Satterfield, once again, the Special Education Director. In my section, you'll notice the duties and responsibilities. Basically, the duties and responsibilities I have listed basically ensure that Newton County's procedures and processes we have meet the state Georgia DOE rules and IDEA. And once I said IDEA, I'll go ahead and tell you, she gave you a list of acronyms, but special education is kind of the king of acronyms. So you do have some supporting documents in there with a PowerPoint that kind of details what some of those are. So I won't have to describe them all tonight. And then the major initiatives you have listed there are really some of the focused initiatives that we've started this year. And they're basically are focusing us to make sure that we do meet compliance, which is a big part of our department, and that we are increasing student achievement with students with disabilities. Your supporting documents, once again, it's a brief PowerPoint on basically special ed services and IEP, and you'll see a special education department organizational chart. And if you have any questions, be happy to help you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Renee Finley. I'm the Director of Student Services. And this department supervises the school social workers, student services supervisor, school nurses, the student information technicians, and the ombudsman counselor. Major duties and responsibilities include overseeing attendance and child abuse reporting for the district, crisis intervention teams, data collections including FTE, which is the full-time equivalent report, which is done in October and March, and is the Quality Basic Education Funding. We do that twice a year. Also, the Office of Federal Rights, the Civil Rights Report. We oversee the homeless program, hospital homebound services for students, Infinite Campus and Parent Portal, the Ombudsman Alternative Program, out-of-zone requests, nursing services, school resource officers, student enrollment and scheduling, student placement committee, tribunal hearings, athletics, 504, and RTI. Some of the things that we are working on doing include developing procedures and training for fiscal year 16 scheduling for students, developing protocol for our local truancy intervention board, and ongoing data collection and error correction for our state reports. And there's several documents in here that provide you an overview of these programs.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Mike Barr, Director of Support Services. The major areas of responsibility for me are ensuring safe, dependable, and efficient transportation for students in the schools attending school. Plan and review procurement programs and develop purchasing strategy to ensure the efficient and effective acquisition of supplies and services, and also to develop long-term comprehensive facilities plans. And a few of the major initiatives that we're involved in now in procurement, we're working to implement a system-wide print management program. We have a system copy and print center that will be opening in early January. On the student transportation side, we're working to increase student safety. We're reviewing the student behavior program and also installing DVRs on all buses, and provided some targeted training to our drivers. Additionally, in capital projects, we are in the process of implementing a new 5-year facility plan, which largely includes projects such as roofing, HVAC, and some grounds projects. And I've provided an overview of the 5-year facilities plan in the following pages.
I'm Jan Lumens, Director of Operational Services, and I oversee all maintenance and operations for the school system, which not only includes the maintenance of the buildings, but fire safety and security systems, our custodial program for keeping our buildings clean and sanitized, recycling program, safety and energy conservation. With our energy conservation, we control lighting and HVAC in a large number of our schools to try to conserve energy. Under school nutrition and wellness, we have breakfast program at all 23 of our schools. We have lunch programs at all 23 schools. Right now we have a very high participation. It's about 40% of our students eat breakfast, and about 80% of our students eat lunch with us. Then we work with the after-school program people to provide snacks at 23 of the schools. And at Middle Ridge Elementary School, we have a fresh fruit and vegetable program where we provide a fruit or vegetable snack for all of our students every day. And then we are responsible for the system wellness initiatives and have a wellness coordinator that works with the schools to ensure that we have wellness activities at all of our schools. Our major initiatives, we are working to increase our breakfast participation by 1% and lunch participation by 0.5%, which is very difficult to change participation, particularly with our new guidelines for the Hunger Free Healthy Schools Act. So we're trying very hard to keep our participation up. Then we're developing professional learning communities in school nutrition and maintenance and operations, and we continue to address recycling efforts at all of the schools, and school nutrition will be undergoing a review by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in March of 2015. And under both of these initiatives, I maintain the budgets for both of those programs. School nutrition is primarily funded by federal money, and so we are pretty much independent operators as far as paying our bills.
As human resources, the main duties and responsibilities that I have with the overseeing the hiring process for the district, and that includes recruitment, selection for certified and classified employees, all levels of employees. We also administer a new hire onboarding process, which includes fingerprinting employees, maintaining all of their personnel files and certification information for our certified teachers. We also manage a substitute induction process and maintain substitutes for the district. And we also administer family medical leave, and I conduct the unemployment hearings, anything related to unemployment. The major initiatives for my department generally would be overseeing the board and personnel recommendations that are made each month, usually twice a month. And we also do all the teacher recruiting, and we make sure that we coordinate those recruitment fairs And we also work to assist with identifying highly qualified teachers and making sure that we reach 100% participation in terms of highly qualified staff.
Thank you.
Well, now, Sheila Thomas, the Director of Federal Programs, and my primary duties and responsibilities include overseeing grant programs, federal grant programs, to include the Title I program, Focus Schools program, Reward Schools, Parent Involvement, School Improvement, Migrant, and Homeless. And then we do have to report to the state and the federal to make sure we're in compliance with state and federal guidelines on our NND, which is the Neglected and Delinquent Program, as well as the private schools. Even though we don't have them, we still have to report to the federal government and the state government as to what we're doing to support any initiatives in the district to see if we have students that we can support and provide services for. Basically, with all those different programs, I work to make sure the district is in compliance, as well as the 21 Title I schools meet the compliance, again, with state and federal regulations. Other responsibilities that I assume is to work with the advanced ed preparation that we just went through. Ms. Fury spoke to where we were in the advanced ed process when she began. I also work with the best teacher leaders, the new teachers, the new teacher induction program, the recognition program. We're going to have a recognition program later on in May of this year, as well as I work with the mentors, and I serve as the facilitator of the calendar committee. And I do have the great pleasure of representing Newton County with the Title I program and serving as the president of our Georgia's Association of Title I Directors, which is GCEL, Georgia Compensatory Educational Leaders. So those are, some of the responsibilities that I have. The major initiatives that we work on in my department basically is to work with the district and work with all of the Title I schools, as I mentioned, to provide support and technical assistance to help them use the monies that they have appropriately to promote student achievement and enhance effective teaching. They also, all of the schools have a requirement to promote parent involvement and parent involvement activities in their schools, so we support them as well. And we prepare for monitoring, the annual monitoring that goes on each year that is conducted by Georgia Department of Education, whether it's on site or a self-monitoring where we report the information to the Department of Education. And behind the tab 13, you see the supporting documents, which include the procedures manual, the budget, the Title I budget, and the monitoring document for the review.
Now I'm confused.
Yes, just wait.
That's at least an inch of paper. Thank you.
Makes the regular budget look easy.
All right. Good evening again, Mr. Edwards. I am Allison Jordan. I serve as the Director of Testing, Research, and Evaluation. And behind tab number 14, you will find the information that I've provided for you, which is very limited. However, it should be no indication of the limited amount of information that we do have in testing. My duties and responsibilities include the planning, development, implementation, monitoring of the student assessment program, primarily the standardized assessment program, as well as the student learning objectives that we've just implemented this year. I also analyze data for the system and assist individual schools with their requests. Major initiatives at this time include the implementation and administration of the new Georgia Milestones Assessment System, as well as the student learning objectives. I'm also working on programming a series of predictive reports which will allow us to gauge performance on the college and career readiness indicators for our schools. Additional analyses that I do conduct and have conducted and continue to work on include the impact of mobility rates on student achievement, as well as generating various data sets for system-wide grants, such as the Math Science Partnership and things of that nature. So I do enjoy data. I think people know that and have caught on to that. I enjoy programming. So you put all of that together, and then I make sure that we keep things secure around here when it comes to testing. So unlike the business department, I have top secret documents that people can't see. So. And included in my section is the most current version of the College and Career Readiness Performance Index with the indicators. However, please note that that document changes each year and has for the past 3 years. So as it's updated, I know that information will be shared.
That's one of the challenges that we face with the CCRPI, is that it is not yet a stable document. So one year you may be measuring the attendance rate that shows the number of absences over the total number of absences, which gives you a percentage. And then that percentage is converted into a 10-point scale on 100 points. And this year that will change. And now the figure will be determined by the number of students who are absent fewer than 6 days of school, which for us already is problematic because of the high number of absences due to illness. And so once a student misses 6 days, then that student counts in the negative column for that section of points on this instrument. And again, it's a moving target, so we're constantly having to stay up with it. And it's unfortunate that sometimes the changes, and not sometimes, they happen in the year that we're being measured. So we're learning now and in the spring and into the summer what will happen this school year. So we don't necessarily have all the information ahead of time. We get it after the fact, which certainly makes for a challenge for us to be able to monitor and measure everything that we do. And a major piece this year will be the milestones assessment. So it'll be very difficult to compare this year's data to last year's data.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwards. I'm Gary Shattuck, Director of Technology. I supervise a technical staff of 4 network technicians, 11 school technicians, 1 technician on special assignment, and 1 help desk technician. In addition to that, I oversee 3 programs. I oversee the instructional technology program, the media program, and the technology assistant program. And in addition to that, my responsibility is to create the technology vision and technology plan that matches and aligns with the system strategic plan, and to implement the technology plan and the technology vision. Major initiatives is to turn every classroom into a 21st century interactive learning center, to complete the implementation and the training for ViewPass system, which is putting cameras in the classroom, to renovate every school into a 21st century facility, to continue to support online testing, continue to provide support for the STEM Institute and Desktops for Ed program, to continue to grow and strengthen the technology teacher leader and the technology support team programs, continue to strengthen the media program, continue to grow and strengthen Teach for Tomorrow Technology Conference and the Innovation Expo, create online courses, provide professional learning to all district personnel, and provide a stable, sustainable refresh program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Edwards, that is it in a nutshell. Certainly all of the topics and areas that are addressed today really are just the major pieces. Each one of the people in the room handle a lot of different items that come their way, and we just ask them to capture major duties and responsibilities and major initiatives. And in doing so, everybody sort of pitches in and helps each other to make sure that we accomplish all the things that we do on behalf of the students and our community. Do you have any questions?
No, but I do have a comment or two. I look forward to, thank you all for staying late. I know you're here after hours, so thank you for that. I look forward to working with all of you. So, and I can't begin to imagine the wealth of knowledge assembled in this room, you know, and the one hand grenade theory would get us all, so. You know, but I look forward to working with every one of you, and I'm sure at some point I'll pick every brain in here if I get, and I want to try to resist getting too deep into what you do, because I know you do it well enough to you don't have to be questioned on it. So I just look forward to working with every one of you. Thank you for staying late tonight. So.
Anybody have anything else? Board members, anything else? Well, we certainly look forward to you joining the team on January the 13th. And we'll be doing new pictures at that time. So we'll all be dressing up pretty for the pictures. Madam Chair, that's all I have this evening, unless you have other things that you would like for us to talk about.
I do not at this time. If nobody else have any other matters of interest, the meeting will be adjourned. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.